The Los Angeles Lakers are facing a pivotal offseason after yet another disappointing playoff run. Despite coming into the postseason as the number 3 seed in the Western Conference, a position that brought hope and high expectations, the Lakers were eliminated shockingly early, falling to the Minnesota Timberwolves in just 5 games. It was a result that left fans stunned and the organization with more questions than answers. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any updates. And now, the biggest of all those questions centers around none other than LeBron James. At 40 years old, LeBron remains one of the most iconic and influential figures in basketball history. But this summer, he has a decision to make. One that could shape the immediate future of the Lakers and possibly alter the balance of power across the entire NBA. LeBron is eligible to become a free agent. That means, come July, he can walk away from Los Angeles and choose his next destination, or possibly decide to call it a career. While retirement has been floated as a possibility, most around the league believe that LeBron isn't done just yet. The man is still performing at an elite level, and it's hard to imagine him stepping away from the game while he's still such a dominant force. So what's next for the King? One possibility is that he stays with the Lakers, finishes out his legendary career in purple and gold, and continues trying to lead the franchise back to championship glory. That's the scenario many fans are hoping for. After all, LeBron brought the Lakers a title in 2020 during the NBA bubble season, and he's become a beloved figure among the LA faithful. But another possibility, one that's gaining traction, suggests a very different path. Former NBA guard Rashad McCants believes LeBron could leave Los Angeles. And not only that, McCants thinks LeBron might be eyeing a move to the Dallas Mavericks, where he could reunite with his longtime friend and teammate, Anthony Davis. In an exclusive interview with Basketball Insiders, McCants explained his reasoning. If you think about it, every time LeBron hinted at leaving a team after the playoffs, he actually followed through. He did it in Cleveland. He did it in Miami. And then again before joining the Lakers. I wouldn't be surprised if he's looking at Dallas this time. It's a bold prediction, but not an impossible one. The idea of LeBron joining the Mavericks opens up a fascinating scenario. In Dallas, LeBron would have the chance to share the court not only with Anthony Davis again, assuming a trade or move could be made, but also with Kyrie Irving, his former teammate from their Cleveland Cavaliers championship days. That's a lineup that could send shockwaves through the entire NBA. The chemistry between LeBron and Kyrie is already proven. They won a championship together in 2016 and were one of the most dynamic duos in the league. Add LeBron's leadership, experience, and playmaking, and you're looking at a potential super team. Of course, pulling off a move like that wouldn't be easy. Cap space, contracts, and logistics would all play a role. But if there's one thing we've learned in the modern NBA, it's that where there's interest and ambition, moves can happen, especially when it comes to superstar players. Still, emotions run deep in Los Angeles. LeBron has built a connection with the city, with the Lakers organization, and with a new generation of fans. His 2020 title run brought a sense of pride back to Laker Nation, and for many, it would feel right for him to retire as a Laker, cementing his place in the team's storied history. But LeBron is also a strategist. He's always thinking 2-3 steps ahead, on the court and off. And if he feels that the Lakers' current roster isn't built to seriously compete for another title, he may not want to spend his final years on a team stuck in transition. The Lakers' front office knows this. They're under pressure to make meaningful changes this offseason, whether that means bringing in new talent, restructuring contracts, or committing to a long-term plan that includes LeBron. Their ability to convince him to stay could come down to the moves they make in the coming weeks. And don't forget, LeBron has always expressed a desire to play with his son, Bronny James, who recently declared for the NBA draft. If a team like Dallas, or another rising contender, drafts Bronny, could that sway LeBron's decision? Could we see the father-son duo share the court in a new city altogether? It's a storyline with endless twists and possibilities, and fans everywhere are watching closely. For now, nothing is certain. The only thing we know is that LeBron's decision this summer will have massive implications. If he stays in Los Angeles, the Lakers have a chance to build around him once more and make a final push. If he leaves, it could signal the end of an era, and the beginning of a brand new chapter somewhere else. So what will it be? Will the King stay and fight in Los Angeles? Will he join forces with Kyrie and Luka in Dallas? Or will he shock the world with a completely unexpected move? One thing's for sure, wherever LeBron goes, the entire NBA will feel the impact. And as the off-season drama unfolds, we'll be here to keep you updated every step of the way. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of the action. This summer, the basketball world is watching one man. And his next move could change everything. The Los Angeles Lakers wrapped up the 2024-25 regular season with an impressive 50-win campaign. Spirits were high. Hopes were even higher. But when the playoffs rolled around, everything came crashing down. In a shocking turn of events, they were eliminated in just 5 games by the Minnesota Timberwolves, a gut punch for a franchise used to chasing banners. From Game 1, it was clear. Minnesota came ready. They were faster, tougher, and just plain better. The Lakers, meanwhile, looked overwhelmed. Their defense struggled to contain anything at the rim. They leaned too heavily on a handful of stars, and their perimeter defense? It left the door wide open, literally and figuratively. Anthony Edwards put the entire league on notice. The young all-star was electric, slicing through the Lakers' defense and finishing at the rim like he was on a solo mission. His outside shot wasn't even the main threat. It didn't have to be. He was getting to the basket at will. And then there was Julius Randle, facing his former team and putting on an absolute clinic. This was the best postseason stretch of his career, and he made sure it came at the Lakers' expense. On the defensive end, Jaden McDaniels and Rudy Gobert formed a wall. They smothered LA's offense and shut down driving lanes. It was a defensive masterclass, and the Lakers had no answer. While all of this was happening, one storyline was quietly unfolding in the background, one that could have long-term implications for the franchise. It involved a rookie, Dalton Knecht. Early in the season, Knecht was one of the most talked-about young players in the league. A 6'6" wing out of Tennessee, he burst onto the scene looking every bit the part of a future star. In his first 24 games, he averaged 11 points per game, shooting nearly 47% from the field and 39% from deep. He even started 12 of those contests. Fans and analysts alike had him pegged as an all-rookie first-team contender. But then came December, and things took a turn. Head coach J.J. Redick made a change. Knecht was moved to the bench. At first, it seemed like a minor adjustment. But over time, his minutes kept slipping. And the reason was clear: his defense wasn't keeping up. Offensively, he had talent. But on a team with championship aspirations, every possession matters. And Redick needed players he could trust on both ends. Then came the bombshell, the Luka Doncic trade. The Lakers went all in, bringing in a 5-time All-NBA guard and changing the entire dynamic of the roster. With Luka in the mix, the urgency to win now skyrocketed. There was no more time for on-the-job training. And in a surprising move, the Lakers reportedly tried to trade Knecht, along with a 2031 first-round pick, for Charlotte Hornets center Mark Williams. That deal didn't go through. But the message was loud and clear: Knecht's place on the team was no longer guaranteed. When he returned, it was to a team that had already shown willingness to move on. He spent most of the second half of the season watching from the sidelines, until March, when injuries opened up some minutes. For a brief moment, he had another chance to prove himself. But come playoff time, he was a non-factor. In 5 games against Minnesota, he saw the floor for a total of just 3 minutes and 40 seconds. That's not just a reduced role, that's almost a complete absence. Still, his rookie season stats were respectable. Over 78 games, Knecht averaged 9.1 points per game, with shooting splits of 46% from the field, 37.6% from 3, and 76% from the line. His long-range shooting stood out, especially on 4.4 attempts per game. In a league that values spacing and shooting more than ever, that's a valuable asset. But it all circles back to one big question. Is there still a future for Dalton Knecht in Los Angeles? The Lakers are at a crossroads. They can choose to invest in his development, hoping that with time and experience, his defense catches up to his offensive promise. Or they can shop him around to a rebuilding team, where he'd likely get more minutes and a longer leash. It's not just about his talent. It's about fit. On a team like the Lakers, built to win right now, there's little room for error. And even less room for growth. So now, the front office has a decision to make. Do they give Knecht a second chance, or do they move on? And if they keep him, how do they rebuild his confidence after a season full of mixed messages? Whatever happens, one thing's for sure, this offseason will be critical for both Dalton Knecht and the future direction of the Los Angeles Lakers. While this season didn't go as planned, the Lakers are already looking ahead, and the future looks brighter than ever. Looking to the offseason, the Lakers are expected to make some major moves to ensure they stay competitive and solidify their championship hopes. It's no secret that to truly challenge for the title, the Lakers need to surround Doncic with the right supporting cast. They are primed to take another shot at the postseason, but first, they'll need to make some critical adjustments. This could involve some big roster changes, and one of the most talked about moves could involve a trade. Brett Siegel of Clutch Points has crafted an ambitious three-team trade proposal that could shake up the Lakers roster. The trade would see the Lakers parting ways with veteran forward Rui Hachimura in exchange for Brooklyn Nets center Nick Claxton. Here's what the trade could look like. The Detroit Pistons would receive Rui Hachimura from the Lakers. The Brooklyn Nets would acquire forward/center Maxi Kleber, forward Simone Fontecchio, center Paul Reed, via sign-and-trade with Detroit, and a series of picks, including 2 first-round picks from the Lakers. The Lakers would get Nick Claxton in return. The proposal looks to address one of the Lakers' biggest needs, finding a long-term solution at the center position. This is an area where they've been searching for stability for some time. And while they've experimented with different options, none have provided the consistency needed to push them over the edge. Claxton, a 26-year-old big man, has been on the Lakers' radar for quite a while. Siegel points out that the Lakers could very well inquire about his availability again this offseason. One of the primary reasons Claxton has drawn interest from the Lakers is his potential to be a perfect complement to Luka Doncic. The Lakers have been targeting centers who can thrive in a high-paced, high-scoring offense, and Claxton could be just that player. He's shown tremendous versatility on both ends of the floor, and his athleticism would pair well with Doncic's playmaking ability. Claxton's ability to protect the rim and his high-flying dunking ability would make him a valuable asset in the Lakers system. From the Nets' perspective, they're expected to be in a rebuilding phase as they shift their focus toward the future. Despite being in the midst of an ongoing project, Brooklyn is still looking to improve its standing for the long term. With the 2025 NBA draft on the horizon, the Nets are likely to explore trade offers for players like Claxton to stockpile future assets. In this trade, the Nets would acquire a plethora of assets, including Maxi Kleber and Simone Fontecchio, both of whom could contribute right away. Furthermore, the Nets would receive future draft picks, which could be valuable in their rebuilding efforts. The Pistons, for their part, would benefit from acquiring Rui Hachimura, a skilled forward who can contribute both offensively and defensively. Hachimura's potential has been evident since his time in Washington, and the Pistons could see him as part of their future core. The trade would help all three teams, with each franchise moving toward its own set of goals. For the Lakers, the acquisition of Claxton would give them a reliable center who can impact the game on both ends. Last season, Claxton had a solid year with the Brooklyn Nets, averaging 10.3 points, 7.4 rebounds, 2.2 assists, and 1.4 blocks per game while shooting 56.3% from the field in 70 games. He's also known for his ability to protect the rim and his exceptional mobility, making him a potential game-changer for the Lakers. Claxton's ability to finish at the rim is one of his standout skills. He's a high-flying dunker who can score in the paint efficiently. His defense is equally impressive, with his shot-blocking ability and versatility allowing him to guard multiple positions. Claxton would immediately provide a much-needed presence in the paint for the Lakers, improving their overall defense while also contributing to their offense. It's clear that Claxton fits the mold of the type of center the Lakers have been seeking. His combination of defense, athleticism, and finishing ability would complement Doncic's playmaking, giving the Lakers a more dynamic and well-rounded roster. In addition, his young age means he could be a key part of the Lakers' future for years to come. As for Claxton's future with the Nets, there's no question that Brooklyn is in a transitional phase. With their eyes on a possible pursuit of Giannis Antetokounmpo and a focus on future draft picks, the Nets may decide that moving Claxton for additional assets makes sense. The trade could be part of a broader strategy to clear space and continue building for the future. Claxton, drafted 31st overall by the Nets, has been the subject of trade rumors for quite some time. While he's shown great potential, it's possible that Brooklyn will look to move him as part of their rebuilding plan. The Lakers, meanwhile, are in a win-now mode, and acquiring Claxton could make them an even stronger contender. With both teams focused on their long-term futures, the trade could be a win-win scenario. The Lakers would add a much-needed center, while the Nets would gain valuable assets to help in their rebuilding efforts. Meanwhile, the Pistons would also benefit from adding Hachimura, a player with a lot of upside. As the offseason continues to unfold, the Lakers' pursuit of Claxton could be a key storyline. If they are able to pull off this trade, it could solidify their chances of becoming a true championship contender. Whether or not the deal happens remains to be seen, but for now, it's clear that the Lakers are actively looking to make moves that will elevate their roster and set them up for long-term success.